Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something that's, well, at the very heart of the cloud, databases. You know, every single app you use, every website you visit, it all needs a place to store its data. The trick is, picking the right one is like picking the right tool from a giant toolbox. So today we're going to open that box and find the perfect tool for any job. Let's get into it. And I mean, some of these jobs are just massive. Just try to wrap your head around this for a second. 50,000 sensors. And each one is screaming data at you 10 times a second. That's 500,000 new pieces of information flooding in every single second. So where do you put it all? Your trusty old spreadsheet is going to wave a white flag immediately. This is the exact kind of problem cloud databases were born to solve.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the big picture, why your data needs a home in the first place. Then we'll get into the great database divide, this huge split you need to know about. From there, we'll explore the structured world of SQL, and then jump over to the super flexible world of NoSQL. We'll even check out some really advanced, specialized tools. And finally, we'll put it all together so you know exactly which tool to grab.
I mean, think about it. You wouldn't use a tiny screwdriver to break up concrete, right? Or a sledgehammer to fix a watch. Of course not. It's the exact same idea with your data. Choosing a database is all about matching the tool to the task, and today we are laser-focused on the incredible database tools you'll find in the Cloud Toolbox.
Now let's crack this toolbox open. The first thing you'll notice is that it's basically split into two main compartments. On one side, you've got something like a perfectly organized library. You know, every book has a number, a specific shelf, a specific spot. Everything is structured. On the other side, you have more of a flexible filing cabinet. You can just toss anything in there. Documents, pictures, random notes, and figure out how to sort through it all later.
So, those two compartments, they represent the single biggest idea you need to grasp in the database world. This is it, the great divide, SQL versus NoSQL. And honestly, if you understand this one fundamental difference, everything else is going to click into place.
First up, let's talk about SQL. It stands for Structured Query Language, and this is our organized library. Just like that library, a SQL database demands that you define a strict structure up front. It's called a schema. You've got to decide exactly what your tables, rows, and columns will look like before you put a single piece of data in. Now that might sound rigid, but it's absolutely fantastic for making sure your data is consistent and reliable. It's why it's the gold standard for things like financial systems.
And then you have the other side of the coin, NoSQL. Now, a lot of people get this wrong. It doesn't mean no to SQL. It actually means not only SQL. This is our flexible filing cabinet. These databases are built for the messy, unpredictable, and often huge data sets of the modern world. You don't need a schema. You can just toss data in, and it gives you this incredible freedom to change and evolve your app on the fly. So let's put them head to head. SQL, strict schema. NoSQL, totally flexible. But here's a really crucial difference, how they handle getting bigger, or how they scale. SQL scales vertically. Think of it like trading in your pickup truck for a massive semi-truck. You get one much bigger, much more powerful machine. NoSQL, on the other hand, scales horizontally. Instead of one giant truck, you just add a whole bunch of new cars to the road. This horizontal approach is why NoSQL is an absolute game changer for big data, while SQL remains the undisputed king when consistency is everything.
Okay, time to open up that first compartment, the structured, organized world. And we're going to start with the workhorse, the classic, reliable wrench set of the Cloud Toolbox, Cloud SQL.
Cloud SQL is basically Google's service that takes care of the most popular SQL databases for you. And the key word here is managed. What does that really mean? It means you don't have to do the boring, tedious stuff. Google handles all the patching, the updates, the backups, all the plumbing. This frees you up to just build your app. It's perfect for things like websites, e-commerce stores, or CRMs, especially if your data is under 10 terabytes, which, by the way, is a ton of data from most applications.
So what happens if something goes wrong? Well, that's where a killer feature called high availability comes in. Here's how it works. You've got your main database running in one location, we call it a zone. But secretly, in a totally different zone, Cloud SQL is keeping a perfect up-to-the-second clone of it. We call that a standby replica. If disaster strikes and that first zone goes down, boom, the replica instantly and automatically takes over. It's an incredible safety net that keeps your app up and running.
But let's be real. Disasters aren't always floods or power outages. Sometimes it's us. We've all been there. That cold sweat moment. That, oh no, what did I just do feeling? Your finger slips, you hit enter, and poof, the entire customer table is gone. And it happened 20 minutes ago.
This is where Cloud SQL puts on its superhero cape. It has a feature that is, and I am not exaggerating, a lifesaver. It's called point-in-time recovery. It is literally like having a time machine for your data. You can tell it, hey, take me back to the state I was in at 2:15 p.m., right before you ran that disastrous command. That career-ending mistake? Yeah, it's now just a minor hiccup you can fix in minutes.
All right, enough with the neat and tidy library. Let's go check out that other compartment, the flexible, sometimes chaotic, but incredibly powerful filing cabinet. We're diving into the wild world of NoSQL, and we'll look at two amazing tools, Bigtable and Firestore.
So remember that absolutely crazy sensor problem we started with, the one with 500,000 data points flooding in every single second? We'll meet the tool built for exactly that kind of insanity. This is Cloud Bigtable. And let me be clear, this is not your standard database. This is a beast, an industrial-grade powerhouse designed for the biggest data jobs on the planet.
Bigtable just eats up that kind of write-heavy, time-based data. We're talking petabytes of scale. A petabyte is 1,000 terabytes. It's a mind-boggling amount of data. But there's a secret sauce to making it fly. It all comes down to something called the row key, the unique name you give each piece of data. If you design it poorly, say by starting every key with the current time, you create what's called a hotspot. It's like forcing every car in the city down the same one-lane road. Total gridlock. A good key design spreads that traffic out, and that's how you get that blistering speed.
Okay, let's totally switch gears. What if your problem isn't insane volume, but just a great user experience? You're building the next killer mobile app. Your user is on the subway, they go into a tunnel, 0 bars. Can they still use your app? Does it just freeze and become useless?
Well, that is the exact problem that Firestore was built to solve. It's like magic for mobile developers. It comes with this toolkit, an SDK, that just handles offline mode for you right out of the box. Your user can be adding things, checking off their to-do list, whatever, all with zero connection. And the moment their phone gets a signal back, whoosh, Firestore seamlessly syncs everything up to the cloud and across all their other devices. It just works.
Okay, so we've looked in the two main compartments. But you know how every great toolbox has those weird, super specific tools tucked away in a hidden drawer? The ones you don't use every day, but when you need them, nothing else will do. That's what we're looking at next with Spanner and Memory Store.
And these tools solve two totally unique problems. First, there's Cloud Spanner. Imagine you want the rock-solid structure and consistency of SQL, but you need it to work flawlessly across the entire planet, all at the same time. Think of a global bank, where a deposit in Tokyo has to be reflected perfectly and instantly in New York. That's Spanner. Then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have Memory Store. Its whole reason for existing is one thing: speed. Raw, blistering speed. It's an in-memory database, meaning the data isn't on a slow disk. It lives in the computer's lightning-fast RAM. This gets you response times measured in sub-milliseconds, which is perfect for a real-time gaming leaderboard where every moment counts.
So there you have it. We've toured the entire toolbox. We've seen the everyday wrenches, the heavy-duty power tools, and the laser-focused specialty gear. Now let's bring it all home and make sure you know exactly which one to grab when you need it.
This is it, your ultimate cloud database cheat sheet. Let's run through it one last time. For your standard web app or e-commerce site, you grab your classic wrench set, Cloud SQL. For that massive fire hose of IoT data, you need the industrial power drill, Cloud Bigtable. Building that slick mobile app that has to work offline, Firestore is your syncing smart tool. Need global consistency? For something like finance, you need the global Swiss Army knife, which is Cloud Spanner. And when you need just pure, unadulterated speed for caching or leaderboards, you hit the gas with the Memory Store Accelerator.
And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. Right now, we live in this world of specialized tools, each one perfectly crafted for a certain job. But as the lines between all these different kinds of data get blurrier and blurrier, are we always going to need this whole collection of tools? Or is someone somewhere building the one master tool that can finally do it all? It's something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.